We're being censored to death here in Britain. How dare you censor us and stop us? Hi, everybody. Did you really think that I wouldn't be having one final midweek crisis before we left and said goodbye to 2022? I've chosen tonight because I think it's quite a momentous occasion. We've just heard the news that Pele, the world's best footballer, has died aged 82 from colon cancer, and tributes are flooding in for him from around the world, not least of all at his home in Brazil, because he was the greatest footballer that ever kicked a ball. And that title is undisputed. Lionel Messi, brilliant player, loved his World Cup, thoroughly enjoyed it. And actually, while we're on the subject of the World Cup, I've got a few brickbats to dish out to the Western media, who really are suffering from unconscious bias. That's the only way that I can describe it, because from the day that Qatar was awarded to host the FIFA Men's World Cup in 2022, the knives have been out. The Islamophobia has been off the scale in the Western media, and the Western media have been heavily focusing on human rights issues. Well, yes, human rights are important, but I tell you what, the next World Cup is in America, Canada, and Mexico. Can we talk about human rights there, please? Can we talk about why Black guys are still being shot by American police? Can we talk about why far-right shooters are still shooting at Jewish communities, at Muslim communities, why men with beards are being discriminated against in America? So, you know, you want to talk about human rights? Let's start talking human rights in the US, in Canada, which aren't much better, and in Mexico, where some areas it's the most dangerous place for anyone to be. Now, the human rights that the Western media focused on in Qatar was over the migrant workers. Like they care. Migrant workers in Britain, well, those of them that are lucky enough to actually survive a channel crossing to get here, because let's remember, migrant workers are drowning in the English Channel. That isn't right. That is, and those that do make it over, our Home Secretary wants to fly them over to Rwanda. So human rights, come on. You can't throw stones at glass houses when you live in a great big greenhouse. Now then, migrant workers, yes, a lot have died while building the stadiums in Qatar. But do you know how many have died building East London? I mean, the skyline in East London, in particular Canary Wharf, is spectacular. But every one of those buildings is actually a monument to 1, 2, 3, maybe more dead contract workers. Don't believe me? Well, I tell you what, there is a bronze plaque attached to a plinth at Tower Hill in East London, and it's called simply to the building worker. And the brass plaque reads, for the thousands of building workers who have lost their lives at work, we commemorate you. For the thousands of building workers who are today building and rebuilding towns and cities across the United Kingdom, we celebrate you. UCAT, which is their union, the Unite Construction Allied Trades and Technicians, that's what UCAT means. UCAT, building together. That's what's on this plaque, which was unveiled by the then London Mayor, Ken Livingstone, and Alan Ritchie, the UCAT General Secretary, on the 11th of October 2006. So a lot of construction workers, thousands, have died in Britain, building Britain. It's a dangerous, dangerous occupation. Wreaths are laid there every year, every April the 28th, International Workers' Memorial Day. And a 2-minute silence is observed at noon in memory of those who've suffered fatal injuries in accidents at work, building these tall buildings. So don't just target Qatar, you lazy journalists. Go and check out the east of London and find out exactly how many construction workers have died building each building. Tower Hill is the place for this monument. So if you live in London, make a point of going there and seeking it out, say a prayer or a tribute, take a picture, put it on Twitter. And just remember that, you know, the construction industry is a very, very dangerous industry. It doesn't matter how many health and safety rules and regulations you've got in place. It's a perilous job. And all of our building workers should be saluted for their heroic work. And as I say, these monuments, these great big skyscrapers across Canary Wharf just stand as a testament to their work. They stand as a testament to the memories of those who died doing this, this work. So what else was going on in the World Cup? Oh, yes. For me, it was my best ever World Cup. And the final was fantastic. But if it comes to the best fans, I would say Senegal, you were up there with the best. Oh gosh, those dancers on the terraces were amazing. The rivals to them, I would say, was Morocco and Tunisia. Gosh, those stadiums just echoed with joy of football fans. And there was said to be an alcohol-free sort of environment created because Muslim countries don't normally serve alcohol. And so isn't it amazing? Not one English fan was arrested for being drunk and disorderly. And that must be a first in any World Cup. So Qatar, well done for holding the greatest show on earth. And it was the greatest show. And we all love Lionel Messi. So well done, Qatar. It was a fantastic occasion. And I, for one, enjoyed every single bit. And while I'm throwing out bouquets, I've got a few brick bats. One for the BBC. I wanted to watch the opening ceremony like millions of other people in this country who love football or enjoy a spectacle. We wanted to see the opening ceremony. How dare you censor us and stop us from watching the opening ceremony? We didn't get to see it. And ordinarily, I would have just gone on to Press TV or Russia Today, but Ofcom has suspended them, so we can't see them. We're being censored to death here in Britain. Campaign for us, really. Anyway, that is the end of my midweek crisis. And let's go out, Lizzie. She's the production wizard who does all these magical things. Lizzie, let's go out on Pele's finest goal. Love to you all. Have a tremendous 2023, and I'll see you all next year, inshallah.